Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Recreational Knitting. My name is Karen. I'm the hostess. If you could do me a favor today, please like, subscribe, all the things with the bells. I'd really appreciate it. Trying to get to 100 followers and be able to have a yarn giveaway, but I'll let you know that when we get to 100. Okay, again, my name is Karen, and you can look for me on Instagram at Recreational Knitting, and I'm on Ravelry as Sampler Gal, one word. Welcome to Arkansas. We've done a lot of traveling in the last week since I podcast, and we are currently in close to Hot Springs. I'm going to massacre this name, I'm sure. Lake Wichita. That's how I'm going with it. Beautiful campground. As you can see behind me, there's a beautiful lake. There's lakes all over Arkansas. We have, I think the last time I podcast, we were in New Mexico. We were evacuated. We kind of ran towards Amarillo, Texas. We spent a night there. And then we went to Oklahoma City and into Arkansas. So it's been a while, and we've been traveling a lot. The reason I know we've been traveling a lot is that my debit card says that we've used $800 in fuel and diesel this week. Yeah, the bad part about the travel right now. When we started, diesel was at $2.39 a gallon, and now it's like $5.39. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We just have to do it. So welcome to Arkansas. It's beautiful here. We're going to go into the National Park of Hot Springs tomorrow, and then on Monday we're actually going to camp there for 2 nights. We actually got some reservations, and from there I think we're going to go into Illinois. So if anybody has some good suggestions for Illinois for me, let us know, because we really don't have much plans at this point. We want to hit Chicago and stay there a bit, and Wisconsin Dells and Wisconsin and up into Michigan, and that's kind of the rough plan, but we really don't have anything reserved. So grab a cup of tea. I'm drinking blueberry lavender tea, herbal tea, in my Ravens cup. Go Ravens. A couple things. Since last time, I've had, I think, only one finish. Something that's in the can, and I've worn it and worn it and worn it. I didn't even block it. It was, we were in some chilly weather. As soon as it got off the needles, I wore it. And I've been wearing it, and I still haven't blocked it. So, this is my green sweater. It's been worn. I love it. 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 I had it on over this morning when we left, because it was around 45, 48 degrees when we left Arkansas, northern Arkansas. We're in the middle of Arkansas, I believe, right now. And of course, it's 5 in the afternoon, so it's a lot warmer. As you can see, beautiful spring day. We couldn't ask for better weather. Arkansas, northern Arkansas, they had flooding. They had to close half the campground. So far, we've been evacuated for 2 wildfires, and some flooding. Yeah, all right. What could get worse? Anyway, this is my new finish. This is BioBalance by BC Garn. And this was the lime color, which I don't think is lime, but I adore this sweater. This is kind of a sweater that I used a pattern for a Raglan sweater, a couple years ago, and I've kind of modified it, and now I've kind of got it down to a science. So it's a little bastardized pattern of my own, but I adore it. It fits me great. Love it. My husband even loves it, and he doesn't like the color green. So all worked out. Yay! So that's really my only finished object, I think, at this point. But that's okay. That one's in the can, and I'm glad it is. I did work. I have some works in progress, and I'm going to show those to you right now. I think about three podcasts ago, I showed you that I'm making my son-in-law a scarf. And this is the pattern. I'm hoping that you can see it. It's a very easy pattern, but he wanted something very warm. He's out in weather a lot, and I thought something that is rustic would probably meet his needs best, to repel rain, sleet, snow. This is Briggs & Little Tuffy, and I think the last time I showed you, I don't know where I was, but let me see, where did I attach? Here, I was close to this, and I balled up the yarn, and I started that one. So I haven't gotten too far on it, but it's one of those that, I pick up and do a couple rows and go from there. But I really like the yarn. I don't know if he will. He likes softer yarns. So I'm hoping that this will meet his needs. We'll see. It's a gift. And they live in Maryland, so my daughter will wear it if he won't. I'm doing that on number 10, so it goes pretty quick. And these are my chai goo that I adore. Use them for almost everything, if I have enough cords. And that's living in this little Bob Ram U bag. No woman, no ply. Cute bag. I think I got that free by buying some yarn one time. Not sure. It just stored a lot of yarn at one point. Okay, what else do I have on the needles? I've got this. I didn't work on it. I'm going to show you my scarf or shawl. But, I don't think I showed it to you for the last couple of weeks because I didn't do anything on it. So this is where I was the last time I showed you, right here. And that's just a progress keeper that says yarn. I don't know where I got it, but I've gone this far. I'm just kind of doing some random striping when I feel like it. Let me see, here we go. This is Lolo Did It sock. And the navy blue is Zen Yarn Garden Supervine Fingering. It's superwash merino, 10% nylon, 400 yards of this stuff, and this is midnight blue, which still has some variegated parts in it. I really like this. I've never used this Zen Yarn Garden prior to this, and I really do like it. Hand dyed in Canada. Thank you, Canada. And this is Lolo Did It And this is BioBalance, I'm assuming that's how you say that. It's a lovely, it's a sock yarn, everyday sock. And I've used her everyday sock prior to this, and this is a little more splitty, so I'm not sure if it's the color. She got a different batch. It's just, you know, a little more difficult to work with. So, but I've made really good progress on that, and one day I'm just going to say, well, I think that's enough. So I'm just, I wanted to have a blue shawl. I like this shape of shawl a lot. I wear this even in Florida when we go out to dinner at night, or, you know, go for a walk or something. There can be a chill in the air, if you can believe that or not. Yeah, so good progress on that one. Yeah. This is the pattern Ex-Boyfriends. And it's a design by Jennifer Beaver. It's a free pattern, I believe, on Ravelry. And it's, she's got specific instructions for different colors that she used in her sample. But she says, as desired. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that's Max in the background. If you saw the last podcast or two, you met him, and he hears me talking and thinks he needs to be out here. Okay, so that's two things on the needles. I think last time I talked to you about the Rocketee by Tanis Fiber Arts. Well, I did work on it, and I worked on it a lot. Worked on it for about this much, and then really looked at it and had to tear back to where I was. So while this doesn't look like I've worked on it, I worked on it a lot. I ripped. And when you rip two different colors, wow, I didn't realize how difficult that would be with lace weight. This is 100% wool. Now this is silk, and the other one, the oatmeal color, is the wool. And they're beautiful together. It will be worthwhile, but right now it's taking a nap. So, yes, I did more work on this than I thought. And when you have the two lace together, it's, for me, a big challenge. Again, mediocre knitter. Another thing that I've been working on, that you've been watching me do a little bit of work here and there, is my mustard sweater. Starting some ribbing, but I'm thinking I need to go back and decrease a couple more stitches because it's awfully loose. So that's where I'm at with that sleeve. And again, this is just a simple raglan. I put a little stripe in it just to give it a little something. And I really love this yarn. This is Swan's Island, and it's Rambouillet. It's milled in the United States, it's dyed in the United States, and it's from United States sheep from Wyoming. It's luscious, and who's going to make the air freshener? Do I need to call Renews It? Who will make this? It's wonderful. But little progress, but I might need to do a little rip back to decrease the number of stitches again. So not a whole lot of change on that one. I think that's all that I've worked on knitting wise this week. We've been, when we travel, there's a lot of setup, breakdown in camping. And my knee is still not cooperating well. It's better, but it does take a lot out of me. So when I sit, instead of pulling up my knitting, sometimes I just sit. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, economic stimulation. I did just a little bit on local yarn shop day. We were actually in the Santa Fe area prior to getting evacuated. And I'll show you my gems that I got. I went in, sorry for the rattling of the bag. I went in and I wanted to get something that was local to the area. Obviously, I'd never been to this store before. And it's called Looking Glass Yarn and Gifts in Santa Fe. Lovely little shop. Have beautiful things in there. But I was really looking for locally dyed yarn, locally sourced yarn, something artisan from Santa Fe weavers or something, you know, that was indicative of the area. I didn't find that. So I was a little disappointed in that, but I was able to make sure that I got two nice things that I had been kind of looking at online, and I'd never touched them. So this is really lovely. This is called Queensland Kathmandu Fingering Weight. It is 85% wool, 10% silk, and 5% cashmere. I don't often do red, but this is red that's got a little bit of rust and tweed in it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, whether this will go into a sweater. It's soft as anything you've really touched. It's gorgeous. And this is the color Carmine, or 16. And it's got 425 yards, excuse me. And I find it to be totally luscious. Look at that tweed in there. It's a little brown tweed, and I was thinking, you know, maybe I have some like natural color wools. Maybe this could go in that sweater with it, and it's fingering weight as well. So we'll see where that goes, but I was pleased as punch to get this, and it was a really reasonable price, I thought, for as much yarn as you get. It was, you know, obviously not hand dyed, it's a commercial dyed, so I get that, but I think it was $16 with the local yarn store discount that they were giving that day. So I thought it was a really good deal. This is the second thing that I got. It's Malabrigo sock, and it's Metamorphosis, and the color is Insomnia. Look at the colors on that. This was an experiment, I was told, by the shop, so you may not be able to find this anywhere, but this is enough to make a pair of socks that won't match. And Malabrigo, I don't know if they meant it that way or they didn't think about that, but it's, as you can see, it's, you know, very variegated. And I don't think I want to use it as socks anyway, even though it would be fine. I don't care about the matchy-matchy stuff. But I think that with the colors that are in there, we've got, you know, black, very dark blue, and then some of the yarn. I don't know whether you can really see this. Has little lighter specks in it. Can you see that? So it's, I don't know how it will work up, but I think it would be beautiful in a shawl of some sort. I don't know, I'll find out, I don't know, but I really liked it. And it's Malabrigo, so you know, it's soft as anything. And it's 100% merino wool superwash. I'm not a huge fan of superwash, but I'm not totally against it either. So I think these are some lovely colors that will look beautiful. So I, again, don't know whether this was a mistake by Malabrigo or what. I don't care. It's yarn and it's soft. And then the third purchase that I made was just this past Tuesday. We stayed at, we're members of Harvest Host, and we stayed at one of their hosts, which is an alpaca farm in Oklahoma, outside of Oklahoma City. Harvest Host is a program that you can stay for free, and it's typically a farm, a winery, sometimes a brewery, golf course sometimes, and all they ask is that you buy something from them. Essentially, it's free. You do have to pay to enter the program, but we've stayed in about 6 or 7 of these over the course of our time on the road, and we have truly enjoyed each and every one for a variety of different reasons. We've stayed in golf courses, We've stayed at an alpaca farm. We've stayed at a beef farm in Wyoming. We stayed at a brewery and a winery, and in Oregon, in Tillamook, we stayed at a cheese factory. It was great. We enjoyed ourselves each and every time, and it's nice because you can get, you know, gifts that you can send to, you know, your kids or, you know, friends. So, you know, it's worth it, we think. So the other night we stayed at this alpaca farm, and this is some of their alpaca. I don't know how well it's spun, but I'll find out. I'll probably put this in a hat with color work. Maybe, you never know. But making this the color work, this is a sport weight, and it's a lovely, lovely alpaca. But I don't think I would do anything else with it because I think it's not tightly spun as I would like. So, it's what you get when you go to these places. You get adventures, and this is certainly an adventure. Extremely soft, and I'm sure extremely warm. So, the alpaca farm was beautiful. He has 39 alpacas, and the oldest one is 18, and she's retired. She lays down a lot and looks around. The youngest one was 3 days old, and that was quite a sight to see. So that's it for my economic stimulus. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was how some of the things that I've learned over my course of knitting, what I've learned to be probably some of the little tips that are most helpful to me. So I try to keep it to 5 little tips, And know that you're to do as I say, not as I really do, because I don't do all of these. I know that's hard to believe. But these are the 5 top things that I think might help you improve knitting if you're not already doing them. Finish your row is number 1. Why do I say that? I say that because I have put knitting down and not gotten back to it for, a week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, a year, and not know where the H I am. And that really is horrible when you have to think back and not feel like you're making progress, because I just want to rip this stuff out and say, enough, had it. And what goes along with that is making sure that on your pattern, you physically mark somehow, whether you use a pattern off your phone, off your iPad, or you print one out. Make sure you have left yourself a note so that in another year, you think I'm kidding, another year, you're going to know at least where you need to start. This next one, I've had to learn the hard way, and we've all had to learn the hard way, I'm sure. Look at what you've knitted every so often. Does it make sense? Look at it. Spread it out, look at it, and go, oh, wait a minute, that yarn over went 1 stitch that direction. And the more you check, the less likely you'll have to rip out too much. And the third hint is to choose the right fiber and the yarn weight for your project. We all know about the Craft Yarn Council's systems of weight. 0 to, I think it's 6. I don't know, I don't get that high, but that sounds about right. But make sure that your project matches that, and on that same note is to try to get gauge. Now, for example, alpaca. If you've got 100% alpaca and you make a sweater, you will soon have a tunic that will turn into a dress. The dress will go beyond your knees, and you'll have a maxi dress. Maybe a maxi dress with a bridal train. I don't know, but it stretches. So don't choose 100% alpaca for a garment. We've all done it, trust me. Yeah, it's a beautiful fiber, but if you get a yarn that has wool with alpaca in it, you'll be happier with the finished object. So, yeah. Learn from my mistakes anyway. Now, my husband thinks this is totally ridiculous. He told me that I just want to buy things, to make his life hell, I guess. So, the whole, knitting bag, I used to use Ziplocs. How many of us have not? First of all, it keeps moths out if you do it right and don't have holes in it. But it keeps things together. I'm going to tell you, it's worth the $40 to buy an organizer, a tote, something to keep all of your tools together, your pattern, your yarn. Not necessarily the entire project, but the yarn. You've got to have an extra, ball in there so that if you're like me and it's 9:30 at night and you're ready to put one on, that there's one in the bag. You want your you know, obviously your knitting needles, like if you need to change size of the points on your knitting needles, your little silver loom crochet hooky yarn thing, stitch markers, whatever you need for that particular project is really going to be important. So I say, you have my permission to go buy. I don't make them, but certainly other people do. One of the, I forget, this is an Etsy shop. I love her stuff. It's beautiful, but she doesn't have a tag in it, and I have deleted that information. But if you go into Etsy, you can find a million bag makers and all kinds of designs, and pay as much as, you know, $300, I'm sure, all the way down to, you know, like 10 for a little drawstring. But do it, girl, okay? You're worth it. I'm worth it, yeah. And your knitting will be better as a result if you have all the tools that you need right at hand. And I've already addressed this. This I included, this is the 5th one. Right where you are in the pattern when you end for your night, day, whenever you've been knitting on that. Make sure you know where you are, finish your row, because you don't know if you're going to pick it up tomorrow, next month, or next year. Ask me how I know this. I've got several projects that I go, I don't even know where to begin. And that's when things get ripped. Fix it or frog it. So yeah, I end up frogging those. So, and a lot of times that's unfortunate because I've knit, you know, several hours on something, and I think that they deserve the love that we started them with. So those are the things that I think will make you a better knitter. I think that's all. I'll probably be running some footage of some pictures. They'll probably be about a week and a half behind since I haven't posted. I think they will be of the Santa Fe area. Some of my pictures of Sedona didn't come out, and I'll put them in, the ones that did come out, but I apparently went over my storage capacity and they didn't save them. So yeah, the most beautiful place in the earth, and they didn't save them. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm hoping that you have a wonderful, wonderful spring day like this if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And I hope that you have whatever you want in the Southern Hemisphere, whether that's snow, warm weather like this, or rain. Some people like rain. My husband does. I don't get it. My hope for you today is to find something fun to watch on TV so that you'll be distracted by everything that's going on in the world. I don't want this to get political, but we need each other at this time. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, we'll have a 100 subscriber giveaway. I have some beautiful sock yarn that I'm going to give away, and we'll do that when we get to 100. So keep liking, subscribing, comment below. One of my questions is to you, other than the 5 things I gave you to help with your knitting, what one thing would you tell a new knitter to do, or even an advanced knitter? We don't know everything. Nobody knows everything about it. So put your suggestion below. Comment and let's get this community rolling. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you from wherever next week. Bye.